Welcome. You got Jim Cornette in the background there, wrestling legend manager. This podcast there is hosted by Brian Last, who is once a member of Wrestling Classics message board, of which Vitamin J has been on that website for over 20 years, here and there. There were some times when just never really got back around to it, drifted away, had to reactivate, things like that. Very happy to be back on there in 2024, and it sucks. There's a member who was always extremely supportive of everything a few years ago. See, that's the thing. That's what bothers me. Like, the same people who were supportive in 2018, 2017, 2016, and all that kind of stuff. Like, guys, I see right through everything, okay? Some of the people that were in my home as meal train stuff, give me a break. You never cared, but then all of a sudden, oh, let's bring some tacos. And then this time around, everybody showed just how much they really did care. Because when I got sick, instead of there being any kind of understanding or a sick time donation like there was when my wife was sick and dying and then died, that another peer had called a vacation for me. So I'm sure this retirement and last year, it was all just vacation. I'll tell you this retirement will be retirement because words mean stuff. And that process through the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Board is extremely challenging in and of itself. Let alone when one is going on and on and on with the depression and PTSD and the derision, the doubt, the defamation from the very community that person happened to be born in, serve, etc., etc., etc. John Legend will know all about this. John, tell your sister Phyllis that Vitamin J was friends with her, Schaefer Middle School, South Burnett Road, Springfield, Ohio, in like 1996 or 7, somewhere in there, when I was, a kid in school, 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever. Phyllis was always a phenomenal friend, and I love her to this day. It has nothing to do with you, John, or your wife. Congratulations on that. Congratulations to me for recovering from PTSD and depression and never giving up. And I encourage everyone to always stay positive, genuinely. Retirement's here. Everything actually ended in November of 2022. Period. Marriage and career ended. Period. So as far as I can tell, life's just like, no, Jay, you ain't going to be a husband. You're not going to be a cop. You're not going to be this. You're not going to be that. And that's the problem, is words mean stuff, so we can easily go, into some prejudices and some nonsense because of who I am, who I was, who I've been, where I worked, whatever. But let me tell you something. I take the responsibilities very seriously, and I believe that all humans do not need the police. So if we actually need the police, then there is a legitimate reason for the police to have to actually come to our house. Civilized people do not need the police to come to their house. Civilized people do not need to be civilians under a police officer in the home. I never talked about jurisdiction so much in my life. I never talked about the importance of different laws, the irrelevance of THC to police. Then, and definitely now, where the whole damn plant is legal, and it has cancer fighting benefits, it has mental health benefits. It is a crime that the stuff was ever illegal. When you consume these natural plants, whether it is THC or whether it is stuff like vaca, V-A-C-H-A, dandelion root, valerian, etc., etc., there are plenty of herbs that do work very well on calming yourself, and carrying on your day to day. Because that is all this is. That is all this is. When depression and PTSD are present, the only real strength is to stand, to own it, to share with the world what you've been through, to inspire the world, to encourage them to also never give up. This is not about me. This is not about my personal, private health and the journey or the other journey or whatever. This is about life itself, and I will be telling the world all about this crazy history. And it's not about, oh, I've got to spill the tea. No, I don't care about the tea. Let Springfield, Ohio and Clark County take care of themselves. They are their own problem. They did it to all the dead. They did it to all police. They did it to all medics. They did it to all first responders. They did it to Heather, Matt, and Aiden and their families. And I hate to break it to you, but the first name on that is this family, and Deputy Yates was my brother. No, not by blood. By calling. DJ Chill, Deputy Yates, Officer Davenport. We were the 3 men in official Springfield, Ohio public service who would actually try to help these people to never encounter us again. It disgusts me to include myself and talk about myself in such a way, but it has gotten so long in the tooth, so disgracefully pathetic. Here in March, it's March 15th, 2024. It's 5:07 on planet Earth. Clark County, go fuck yourself and fix yourself already. No, it's not every single person. It's not my neighbors. It's not my friends. It's not my family. It's not even the vast majority of anybody who lives in this county. The vast majority of people who live in this county tend to be hardworking, decent, wonderful people. I'm just the most misunderstood and most hated in this community because this community needs to grow up. I am a shaman. I am a widower. I am... Okay, tell me this. If I'm a police officer and a guy that argues with the politicians that I am now telling are on notice, they can get out of their own way because they're in the people's way, not mine. My life is great, period. My pension as is pays for everything that I need in this real life. I'm a patient man. I'm a stoic man. I'm a philosophical man. And I'm a feral man who took all of 2023 and depression and PTSD and anger and bitterness and all that and funneled it straight into knowing that I was going to recover, because that's the brain, folks. People get sick. People get better. Mr. Davenport is not anything. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to get your attention. I'm not running around to one tornado. I'm vouching for the meteorologists, Britley Ritz, Nick Dunn, Channel 7, Channel 2, Channel 22, Channel 45, who are putting those forecasts out and genuinely saving lives before the tornadoes hit. Not going afterwards and doing some manual labor, which itself is great, thank you. But way before the tornado even came, there were people saying, get in your basements. There were people calling their friends, their family, their loved ones. There were people like me putting on my Facebook pages about the storm, about that calling that is mine. I am not a cop. I am not any of that stuff. I am James Davenport, and I don't care about social media like you think I do. I care about social media because it is the one way that I can associate with a bunch of people from my past who are still phenomenal. It's not because, oh, I want to add all the pretty girl pictures or the what the fuck are you talking about? What are we even living in 2024 together, people? Web 3 is here. Crypto, decentralized social media, Mastodon, things like that. And yet the ancient wisdom of Socrates, Aristotle, and so on, that is still true. The music is true. The wisdom is true. The silly quotes, the sappy quotes, the Dose of Vitamin J show. It's all real. I can delete all of this within the next 5 minutes and be just fine. I don't have to speak with anyone ever again. I wanted to do a podcast about the mind and about life upon my retirement from public service. Whether you like the police or you hate the police, that's your decision. Public service without desecrating the uniform or the insignia that makes you you in that uniform. I brought me to that uniform, and I did not disgrace that uniform. I am not here to get anybody's anything. I don't need your applause. I don't need your attention. I don't need likes. I don't need any of it. Okay? This podcast is going to succeed because it is my life. This business is my life. It is my personality. It is the man that held the hand of his Morticia, her Gomez, who held her hand until she died. So every single one of you in Clark County, Ohio, that mocked this family, who sat idly by while I went through hell and my daughter had to experience it again, you get to experience it now because you are an adult and you get to be accountable too. This has nothing to do with a city hall. This has nothing to do with a government. This has nothing to do with a woman or a man or anything. This is the most pathetic experience that has ever taken place, and it's because of City Hall, and it's because of my estranged wife, and I am standing today for Heather, Matt, and Aiden. It is time, it is beyond time that you fucking stand with my daughter and I, because we are done with social media. We are done with being defamed. We are done with being mocked, with being placed into some sort of incarceration because I happen to be a decent man and I sacrificed everything that I had that day knowing this sucks. They're not supporting me. She's not hearing me. They're actively blaming me for what they don't understand about life. Look at the picture of the Dose of Vitamin J show. Look at the picture of the 821 John retired and just a little salty. What the fuck do you think any of these lils are? I'm not salty. I'm salty only to those four. I'm salty in their stories, just like I'm a gaslighter to her. I'm like crazy to them. Okay, if all of that is true, explain the last 18 months to all of us. Because it is March 15th, Saturday, 2024. There is no time, only life. And the three families that show is dedicated to, again, I am one of them. Completely understand that reality, and so does every single one of you. So the four triggers, you're disgusting. Ashamed is how you should feel, and you better. Because my illness is over. I don't care if people look at it and say, oh, he's this, he's that. If Destiny and Tiffany can't hang, I don't give a shit about anybody else's table. I am the table. She calls me dad. She called me her Gomez. They call me crazy. She calls me gaslight. Here's the thing. They're politicians. And if she ever figures out what's wrong with her, her life will get a whole hell of a lot better. And it ain't ever going to have me in it again. So you got what you wanted, everybody. And now the world gets what I wanted. Me doing a podcast in retirement, honoring life, honoring the dead, honoring everyone who has laid the foundation for all of us to be here today. I mentioned Heather, Matt, and Aiden. I can mention Chad, Shay, Bray Wyatt. Hell, Waylon Jennings is gone. Johnny Cash is gone. Johnny Carson is gone. Abraham Lincoln is gone. Socrates is gone. Folks, Vitamin J never lied. It's time, America. It was nice of those four to actually sacrifice their image so I could retire early. Sadly enough, against my will, against what I wanted 25 and out. I wanted those ashes over there to be sitting on the rocking chairs that she put together, that I still have one of and will always have, on that front porch. I don't care about any items. I don't care about lucre. Lucre's a waste of trees. Fiat currency never works. And as empires go throughout history, America is very, very, very old. So hate me all you want. I don't care. You don't care either. If you did, you would have actually been doing the CISM, CIT, and all that kind of stuff last year, Clark County. And what did I get? How many times can I confuse you, Tracy? You got some things to learn, too. What's that other kid's name that's not even on my current personal page that stayed on there? He was the only one that stayed, and all of you, well, I don't work here anymore, I don't work here anymore, I don't work here anymore. Well, I have my calling for life. I don't care where you work. I have my calling for life. I reached out to you not because I thought you were going to help me, but because I knew the work that you did. And I assumed incorrectly, as usual, which is not my assumptions. I mean, the ACA is a wonderful law, and that's why my daughter and I have insurance in 2024. No thanks to the past. And this EOB I have from the insurance that termed on November 1st. They're lying about a grandchild's name. No man would ever put another man's name on his child's name, first of all. Second of all, insurance fraud is frowned upon. You know who you are. You know who I am. Because I'm talking exclusively to those four around Clark County. I've got news for Clark County and Springfield, Ohio. There's a whole great big world way beyond your borders. There's a whole great big world. It doesn't matter if you want to go on vacation to this place or that place or anything else. The best vacation I will ever have in my life was in March and April of 2012. When my Morticia, the week before she was diagnosed, and we went over to OSU many, many times, I got to hating Columbus, Ohio because of the academy and all of the stuff with her. Now, I love Clark County, Ohio. I've always liked my hometown. I've always sought to make my hometown better because I love life, and I will always stay positive. I am tired of having to tell the entire world every last detail about me. No more, okay? When I did AMAs, the people who thought they knew me, the people who claimed to care, some people who do care, I still never been asked anything. I could get on Facebook right now. I don't care to. I took the apps off my phone. I'm not addicted to them. I'm addicted to actually being myself. And since I had to go through it all on Facebook, then it had to happen on Facebook. But life doesn't happen on Facebook. Life doesn't happen on the internet. Life happens out here in the real world. And the reality of it, as the people that run the city of Springfield know, as my estranged wife, soon to be divorced, knows, it doesn't matter. Nothing that was an opinion matters. After a year and a half of a criminal self-imposed, I don't know about that, basically an incarceration at home. And while everybody wanted me to get better, I did. And they all sat idly by, the people that actually had something to do or say or whatever. So they can watch me fall, and they can call me names and blame me for all the problems they have in their world, but they can't actually own what they did. They can't actually own that that's how they run the city currently, and that's who she is, and that's who they are. And that, I mean, this explanation of benefits that I have from January, my insurance term November 1st. I resigned in October, and my pension was awarded September 27th. Does anybody want to question me anymore? Because nobody is. But here's the problem. The people who actually joined me, there are 5 of us. I'm 20%. The other 80%, it's all public. My journey is public on Facebook. Their public is what they're saying today. It's over. It happened. It's over. Life goes on. Dose of Vitamin J Show is now a business. It is a private business, and it might as well be a church. It is a fortified home. There is significant security protocols in place. Life is what it is. I am not spoiling anything for anyone. I am simply telling the truth to those 4 people so that I and my daughter, that being the most important, my daughter, she is why I'm still going and still here. And she has recovered fully to get on with her life, which is just a childhood. A childhood. So you guys didn't do it to me. You tried to do it to her, and you can't even flinch her because we lost her, and this family is legit. So everybody, yeah, it's time you stay positive because I didn't just post it 10 billion times. I live it. And if I needed to follow my own advice, oh, look, I did all 2023 because after everything was violently taken away from me that I actually loved being. Husband, father, public servant. Okay, I'm not a husband because my wife died. I'm not a public servant anymore because when I had significant health issues ongoing, the people who were associated with me at that time clearly didn't care. A year and a half later, I make this episode. You do not get to ask me anything anymore. Talk to my attorneys. Talk to my business agent. I'm getting on with being retired, and I'm getting on with life. So keep your social media. Keep your beliefs. Keep anything that makes you think you need to talk to me in a way that will fix me or correct me, because I guarantee you that I already have forgotten more stuff about professional wrestling than most people you'll ever meet could ever dream of knowing about the brain, which itself is still evolving and growing in me, because that's what the human brain does. So if you are stuck underneath depression and dissonance, or if you are just a disgusting liar to begin with, depression and dissonance can get help. The dissonance is the bigger problem. The depression is overcomable. You, of course, have to actually accept the help and go through hell, but you get back to your normal self afterwards. And in some cases, your normal self becomes a business. You simply evolved from Springfield police officer badge number 801 to the Dose of Vitamin J Show. Because that's me. That's hashtag VJ40. So, hey, folks, when the upheaval, when the confusion, all that starts happening, they'll blame me. Some of you might too. But I'm going to tell you, that's cute. Because there's a whole bunch of other employees of them. And there's a little girl down the hall who could tell you the real truth about them. Because the girl down the hall's dad understands that all humans are water. But so few of us actually understand it. Check out some Sam Harris. Check out any kind of meditation. Check out any kind of actual yoga, actual meditation, and do it. This is not about conversion of anything. The dude abides. That's what that all means. That's what Buddhism existed, because any human being can be a Buddha. It's actually the highest form of human intellectualism we've ever had. And the dude abides, that's a contemporary spin on it, because everyone who knows me, former coworkers, former employers, well, you guys didn't really know me, and that's pretty obvious. So that's why you guys now have the problem on your plate that you have, because you have jobs to do and you didn't do them. And my estranged wife, I mean, I really do wish your family the best. I wish the kids the best. I wish you the best. But look, you didn't hit the wrong button and win. Just like I told you in private when everything was fine. That's the depression. The dissonance is the avoidance. The dissonance is what has led to all of this nonsense, because it's been nothing but the divorce since September 27th. So 6 additional months of just ignoring messages. That's the problem. When I sent emails to Brian Heck, nothing. There's a text that was unreceived just a few months ago by the estranged wife. I attempted to put stuff in the storage unit, which I don't know what happened there, but that was a no-go. That wasn't allowed to be done. We sat here and debated what was what, what belonged to who. What the fuck belongs to anybody at this point? Because I was abandoned by my employer, too. The 4 people that are part of the great Miami Valley disgrace of 2023, along with me, have no choice but to be accountable, because we all are known to the public. Court records, arrest records, career records, evaluations where they always put meets criteria instead of actually, maybe when somebody does go above and beyond, maybe give them a little bit of credit. Tell me my retirement party has to be held off site when I've got everyone on earth 6, where Deputy Crump is the officer at Northwestern Schools where Aiden went one day, the first day of school this year. I talked to Deputy Crump the night before that, and I said, they all know what they've all done. They all know who I am, and we all know who we all are. And Deputy Crump's tired of hearing me talk about stuff. And listen, Crump and everybody, you 4, everybody, I am sick to death of telling anybody, hey, I'm James, I'm just James, because I am. And when I flipped that badge back up, that was January 12th of this year. That was 2 days after the accountability day. That was as the adult in me, the private, not the dad, the man, saying, yeah, I felt like this when I patrolled. I've never been crazy. I've always been unique. Be Me is tattooed on my arm, and I will be getting a lot more ink on my arms as life goes on, because the body's a temple, decorate the walls. This episode is called Just James, because that's all I am, and that's the man that walked through hell last year for the last time for anybody's entertainment or amusement. No more on Facebook, no more just the Davenport's sick and dying on Facebook. No. The Davenports thrive, and we share it with the public to inspire and encourage other people to never give up. So that's the problem that the 4 others, as part of the great Miami Valley disgrace of 2023, find themselves with. It's the same problem I found myself with in November of 2022. This is karma. Karma is not a big spooky thing. Karma is time passes long enough that the truth comes out, and the truth shall set you free, because when one door closes, one door opens. Blah-bitty, 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 blah. The only thing I need to say to anybody is nothing at all, because I told you stay positive for decades, and I have stayed positive for decades, even after all of this. PTSD, depression, defamation, extreme close relationship, death of a spouse at age 31, and our daughter's 9. My daughter deserved a mother figure. I trusted you, and you failed. So whether you want to accept the summons or not, it's over. Everything is over. Because it is not her opinion. It is not their political position. This is a retired Springfield, Ohio police officer who was born in Springfield, Ohio, and then served there and continues to work to make that community better for its citizens. Far be it from any government official anywhere to give a shit about you or me in all reality. If they did, explain to me why everything is the way that it is. And locally in Springfield, you can sit there and say, oh, well, they this or they that. Well, you're a cop. Okay. No, I'm a man. We're human beyond that. The fact that I had to be a cop 24/7 for a little while, that's why my blood pressure has gone back down. My gut feels fine. I'm not throwing up bile anymore because I take my Tudka. I take my vodka. THC really is helpful. We never really cared about marijuana as police officers in the city of Springfield. Not because we didn't, but because we knew it actually is a true herb that is helpful for cancer. There are actual pieces in THC that cure cancer. Not just, oh, it makes me calm or it helps me with this. If all you're doing is eating gummies while your wife tells you that you're an idiot and have ADD, you're begging for trouble because that's just recreational activity and immaturity. If you are consuming measured amounts in apothecary shaman levels of understanding of these herbs, of our place on the planet, of our role with renewable energy and all of this kind of stuff. Just like the brain, that's renewable energy. You, humans, you are renewable energy. Why isn't America already what it's supposed to be? Why isn't America already a real utopia? Atlantis. Why isn't America actually the illusion? Mr. Carlin was correct when he said it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Here's the deal. I have actually survived the retirement process because I survived the PTSD depression. The podcasts, my daughter, the rest of the tribe that is just a bunch of good people in the real world, friends, family, neighbors. We don't meet. We're not a cult. We're not a group. We don't have these meetings where I'm like, okay, tribe, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get them to actually recognize how awesome they are. I'm trying to get you to recognize how awesome you are. I'm trying to get you to recognize that you're a human. You are a human, and as such, you matter. 8 billion of us. So we can spread rumors, we can play politics, all this kind of stuff. Look at the picture associated with this podcast. That's an on-duty police officer who saw his elementary school janitor at the library towards the very end of that elementary school student's professional government-sponsored public service. And again, all of this ended in November 22. And then I go through the ranting and raving and all of the nonsense. Well, look at the Dose of Vitamin J Show Facebook today. Look at it tonight. The chickens have come home to roost. Stacy Larmy, Cock Wrangler, Lieutenant Larmy, Phenomenal. A human being who understood other human beings have pure hearts, have callings, have the desire to serve others, have the desire to be of service, to help others, to be useful. There's the rub. This man cannot be pathetic for long. The amount of money that I would have in my savings today, I couldn't even begin to imagine it if my Morticia never got sick in the first place. Because if that never happened, Great Miami Valley Disgrace of 2023 never happens. I mean, we took pastries in, and they did do the meal train. Everybody, oh, we care, we care, we care. And then as soon as the real opportunity came, we saw exactly who cares about what, and nobody cared about my daughter. So I don't care about them. We're all parents and adults here. I think this is pretty fucking straightforward and pretty fucking understandable, don't you? You don't fuck with a man's family. And this man's recovered from yet another natural occurrence's hell. But unlike those four, I brought the throne back with me this time. Stay positive anyway.